What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Ocho Uncensored. I apologize about the voice. I'm getting over some bronchitis. But anyway, I have an incredible story for you guys today. A story about my daughter who almost lost her life. And it was a moment and a period in our life that changed us forever, and the course of our life forever. But before I get into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video. Go ahead and hit that little notification bell so that way you know when I drop new content, new videos, and that way you guys are up to speed and can be the first ones to see it and hit the comments, you know. And speaking of the comments, I would love to hear your thoughts about the videos I post. Also, things that maybe you want to know. I would love to get to know all of you guys to the best of my ability. So please hit me up. You can also find me on Instagram and YouTube at Ocho_uncensored. So go ahead and you feel free to message me. I would love to get to know you guys, like I said. But without further ado, let's get into this crazy story. So it was 2010, and I was stationed in Germany. I was in the Army, and my daughter was 5 years old, okay? And on that day, everything was normal, right? Like I went to work, you know, in the Army you go and you'll go do some PT in the morning, then you get some time to, you know, go take a shower and shit, eat if you want to, whatever, right? So I went home and, you know, everybody's getting ready, and at the time we had one car, and the school was pretty close, so my wife was gonna walk my daughter to school. So she did. Matter of fact, they skipped part of the way to the school, so it was a good morning, right? Like nothing unusual. And so fast forward, it's about lunchtime, you know, and a few of the guys want to go to the gym. So, you know, it wasn't uncommon. We were getting ready to go to Afghanistan, so we wanted to get a little buffer, you know, get a little So we're at the gym and we have runners, right? So like the runner just right, and he's like, Sergeant no, there's an emergency, you gotta get to the phone, come on. So hop in the car, go to the building, and the school basically called and said, hey, your daughter fell, you need to come to the school. That was it. So I'm not even thinking it's like crazy, right? So I drive to the school, and by the time I get there, there's an ambulance, right? In the front of the school. My daughter's getting put in the ambulance. My wife is already there at the time, and she's hopped into the ambulance as well. As I get out, they kind of just didn't acknowledge me, right? Like they were just like, all right, yeah, this is your daughter, you can follow us, right? And I'm like, yo, what the fuck, man? So I still don't know, like, what the hell is going on, right? So I'm driving, right? I'm following this ambulance, and I am literally cussing and praying at the same time. I don't know what's going on, but I know it has to be fairly serious for an ambulance to be there, and everyone kind of not telling me shit, you know what I mean? So I knew it was getting serious. I knew there was something going on that was fairly serious. And I remember I used to smoke Newports back then, and I was just like, right, like smoking them joints like there was no tomorrow, man. My stomach was turning. So much confusion going through my brain. Well, as I'm following this ambulance, it pulls over, right? Like we're not even at the hospital, right? And I see one of the little emergency people get out and go to the back. So I get out the car, and they're like, hey, you know, and basically my daughter was convulsing, like, you know, shaking like she was having a seizure, right? They needed to calm her down. They were trying to just calm her down. So they finally got her calmed down, hopped back in the ambulance and took off, right? So I'm following her. Now I'm really freaking out because still don't know exactly what's going on, but she's convulsing like she's having a seizure. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it is a seizure. You know, 1,000 things are going through my fucking brain at this moment. You know what I mean? And so we get to the hospital, and in Germany, they have like the Krankenstein, which is like a community hospital or like a real small, like emergent care type type thing. Then you have your community hospitals, and kind of like in America, then you have your, your better hospitals, your specialty type facilities. So we go to this off base, to this community hospital, and probably off base because the base I was on had a shitty medical facility. So they have my daughter, and I shit you not, she is just shaking, convulsing, right? And they don't know what's going on. They're telling us, hey, it's probably a seizure. So they're like, hey, let's do I can't remember if it's an EKG or an EEG. I know she's had both, but they needed her to be still, right, while they were doing this. And guys, I'll never forget this moment, because it was the moment I almost lost it. I'm already kind of in a messed up space because I can't help my daughter, right? I have no idea what's going on with my daughter. I just know it's not good. You know what I mean? And this doctor, or I don't even know if he was a doctor. I think he was probably like one of the nurses or whatever, but he's trying to put the electrodes on my daughter, and she's, convulsing. And he looks at me and goes, "Get your daughter still." I looked at that boy and I said, "The fuck did you just say to me?" And my wife perked up. It's like she automatically, right? So fast forward, right, through that moment. I almost beat his ass. I had to leave the room for a little bit and cool down, but the whole day goes by and she's still shaking. She's still convulsing. They still don't know what's going on. So 2 days, well, I say 2 days, maybe a day and a half, because got there the next day, okay, a neurologist came in and was like, "Hey, have you guys done an MRI?" They're like, "No," right? He's like, "What the?" So rushed to the MRI, right? Well, come to find out, my daughter had a stroke. A very large stroke, and she was actually continuing to go through, I guess, this stroke as she was convulsing all this time. So basically, for like a day and a half, she was, not being treated for a severe stroke. We got rushed to Hamburg, Germany, who has an amazing children's hospital there, and they ended up rushing her and doing a craniotomy, right? Craniotomy is basically just cut like half the skull out. And so basically her brain was swollen, and it was hitting the side of the skull. So they needed to give it, relieve some pressure, right? And allow the brain to kind of swell. And if they told us that if they had not gotten her there when they did, she was gonna die within a few hours, right? And it was just the most helpless feeling for a father, or really any parent, to not know how to help and not know what to do. So they do the craniotomy, and she's still unconscious, and they told us that she would probably never walk, talk, eat on her own again, basically kind of be like a little vegetable. And that's hard to swallow, but the medical staff there was very awesome. I remember they had real strict guidelines, and you whether you were family or not, you had to leave. They did not give a shit. And I love this about Germany, because it wasn't about the parents, it was about the patient. It was about what was best for that patient. They didn't care. They were gonna do that craniotomy on my daughter, whether I wanted them to or not. Shit you not. They had her on the gurney, going down at the elevator like, "Hey, Dad, are you coming or not?" No papers, no sign-in shit, none of that. We're gonna save your daughter, period, right? And it was, thank God for them. But anyway, so, you fast forward, now she's gotta wear like a helmet and stuff to protect her head and her brain. And there was a lot of things that we were faced with. They were saying that she would never, be normal again. She would, and at that point she wasn't even awake. She, it was so crazy. But one morning I came in to see her, and there was one of the doctors there that German doctors, and he had this book that he could read in English, and he was reading this little kid's book to my daughter. And I thought, wow, the level of care and the passion for the patient was just so amazing there. And I think that's why she is where she is today, because despite being told, hey, you never walk, you never talk, you never eat again, right? Now, it's been many years. This is 9 years ago, 10 years ago. So, I just want to let everyone know she can walk, she can run, she can talk, she eats on her own, she does art. She's an amazing, incredible person. Doesn't negate that she has severe TBI now, right? And so there's a lot of things that the stroke has caused. So the cause of the stroke, we come to find out, was, everyone has a little hole in their heart. It usually closes over time after they're born. Well, hers didn't. And it was a real rare case of vasculitis because vasculitis is usually in elderly people or older people, and it's usually in the lower extremities. For some reason, it got up here into the heart, went up, and we have 4 major arteries that feed to the brain, right? Well, this vasculitis clogged up 3 of those 4 arteries, causing just a massive stroke. So basically, the entire right side of my daughter's brain isn't really functioning. And I'm gonna do another video, and I'm gonna show you guys some footage of her walking for the first time. And I'm gonna show you some images of her brain, and kind of go into that as well on a different video. But she still faces a lot, and it's beautiful to see someone who has so much adversity in front of them smile at it, like it doesn't even faze them, And she is truly my hero. And so I hope you guys like this story. If you did, please like this video. Please get in the comments. Let me know what you think. Until next time, I'll see y'all later, man. Be easy.